Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Tim. If you're new here, I upload new videos each week all about running. Today I'm out at Sleepy Hollow State Park running in the Nike Zoom Fly 3s. I have over 100 miles on these shoes and I'm excited to tell you all about it. So welcome back. Today we're talking about the Nike Zoom Fly 3. I have over 100 miles on these shoes, about 115, and I thought it'd be a good time to talk about the durability of the shoe as well as its performance. So as we go through this, we'll be taking a look at the upper, the midsole, as well as that outsole. I'll start by just giving you a few of the stats of the shoe. So a men's size 9 weighs 9.1 ounces or 258 grams. A women's size 8 weighs 7.7 ounces or 218 grams. It has a stack height in the heel of 36 millimeters and 28 millimeters in the forefoot for an 8 millimeter drop from the heel to the toe. It's considered a road shoe, neutral, and it does run true to size. This shoe is a part of the Nike family that would include the Next Percent, the 4%, as well as the Alpha Fly. Although those shoes all have the Zoom X foam, this has React foam from heel to toe, but it has a lot of it. It has 36 millimeters in the heel stack and 28 millimeters in the forefoot. And then sandwiched in there is also a carbon fiber plate. Now this shoe can be used both as a daily trainer as well as a racing shoe. Now for me, it fits better in that daily trainer category, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. So let's take a look at the upper. And it's a pretty big upgrade from last year's version of the shoe. It's thin, breathable. In fact, you can see right through it. It has a booty-like construction as opposed to a tongue, which is very comfortable on foot. And I like the tab, the fit tab system they have on that eyelet chain. It seems to be holding up really well, and it does a terrific job of having my foot feel locked in and secure. Even when I'm going around, tight corners or, higher speeds, I never felt unsafe or insecure in my shoe. Looking at the heel collar as well as the heel tab, there's a little bit of padding in there. And as we take a look at these things, the upper, the eyelet chain, and that cushioning in the heel collar as well as the heel tab, you'll notice that there doesn't seem to be any wear on those areas at all. So the shoe has held up really good over the last 115 miles that I have on it now. So turning now, looking at the midsole of the shoe, that React foam, which really is what I call the engine of the shoe oftentimes when I'm doing shoe reviews, because that seems to be where a lot of the technology falls in the shoes today, and there's a lot of it, and I'm thankful for it. I'm happy to see these companies coming out with all these great innovations. It's just terrific as a runner, and I'm sure you're excited about it too. So that React foam is just as springy and bouncy as it is today as it was the very first day that I put the shoe on. So I'm really happy about that. It's held up terrifically well over the last 115 miles. That carbon fiber plate it's a stiff plate. It's a little bit different of a feel to me, but when we talk about performance, I'll get into more of that. Flipping the shoe over, we're looking at the outsole. It has a lot of rubber, basically from that forefoot up, and then it has a couple of strips of rubber in that contoured heel area, which can be a bit narrow if you're a foot strike or a heel striker. But looking at that rubber, as we look closely, there doesn't seem to be any signs of wear. This does not look like a shoe with 100 miles on it. And I put this shoe through a lot of different workouts. I'm currently, training for a half marathon, and my workouts call for a lot of variety. So everything from an easy run to, obviously long runs, but also the speed repeats and stride repeats and progression runs. And when I do the speed work, I go down to my local high school track to do that, and that track can be really hard on my shoes. And you'll notice the black on that React foam. That's from the rubberized track that I run on. But even though that track can be a challenge for some shoes, especially if it has a softer, outsole or EVA foam that's exposed, it can chew it up pretty well. But you'll notice on this shoe, and I've had it down to the track a lot, there doesn't seem to be any real signs of wear. So I'm really happy about the durability of this particular shoe. So now that brings me to the performance, and it's a good segue because this shoe, it can be used as a racing shoe. That's not how I intend to use it, however. It doesn't mean it doesn't go fast, but it is a little bit heavy for a race shoe, and I think there's some other options out there that I like that I'm probably going to pull on when I make my final decision on which shoe to use to run my half marathon race in. But where I do like this shoe is it does have a lot of that rubber on the outside, and the shoe is quick enough for me to be able to run those workouts that I mentioned earlier, the speed repeats and stride repeats. I had it out for speed work at the track this morning, and it did a terrific job. And because that track is so hard on shoes, I think that this is an excellent choice for me to use when I go to the track to do that speed work, because it seems to be holding up really well using it in that regard. So I feel like I can get a lot of miles on this shoe and get a lot of training in. The other thing I want to note is when I first reviewed the shoe, I know that I mentioned that I had kind of a hard time initially getting into the rhythm of the shoe, getting my gait cycle to sync with the tech of the shoe where it felt smooth. And that's true. It took me probably a good 75 miles. It wasn't until the last 30, 35 miles or so that I really found my stride, so to speak, when I wear this shoe. And now I love it. I think it's going to be a great shoe to use as a daily trainer. And here's what I found for me, is that when I was in correct running posture, and by that I mean I'm leaning, from my ankles forward rather than my waist forward, I was rewarded, with speed, especially when I got moved from more away from my midfoot to the ball of my feet. So I kind of got up a little bit. It didn't matter if I was going, what speed I was running at. It was the posture that mattered. And so I kind of felt after a while like I had a running coach with me who was rewarding me when I would be in the correct running posture, but yet punished me when I wasn't. And so for that, I found it to be really useful. And I've learned to run in the shoe, and it's made me I feel like it's made my running posture, or at least it's made me aware of my running posture more now than I had in other shoes that might be a little more forgiving. So I enjoy running in it. I'm going to use it as a daily trainer. I think it's a terrific place for that, especially for my speed work when I go down to that track. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, maybe give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload new content. As always, run tall, run strong, and be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.